Yeah, that's what I've been talking about right here. No doubt.
Future Solutions, fencing outdoors. Clip of the day, man. I'm Dave Gatto. I'm your host from the East Coast, man. Burn your ears to toast. Let's go. Hey everybody, and welcome back. This is episode number 26 of the Future Solutions Fence and Outdoor Clip of the Day podcast. My name's Dave Gatto, and I'm your host. Hey guys, last week we talked about, in episode number 25, we talked about systems and processes and how to implement them. And kind of staying on that same linear path, I want to talk about how do we handle a callback? What's the systems and processes that we put in place to handle when a customer calls back? They might have had a problem with the product, they might have had a problem with the service, they might have had a problem with the installation, with the materials, etc. Whatever it might be. How do we handle that, guys? And this is super, super important out there, because as you start to expand and do more and more business and touch more and more people out there, you're going to have more callbacks. Some of them are legitimate, some of them aren't. Some of them are the fault of the customer, some of them are your fault. You know, maybe your installation, or maybe it's the manufacturer's fault. But anyways, the worst thing that can happen is when a customer calls you back to do something and you got so much stuff going on and you don't have the proper system in place, the proper flow in place to handle a callback. They get lost in the shuffle. Then the customer thinks, hey, they got my money, that's all they wanted, now I can't get a hold of them. Then comes the bad reviews, then comes the bad reviews on social media, they stop recommending you, they become very bitter. So things like that, guys. So I want to talk about how we handle it and the steps to handle it, because, you know, back in the day, we didn't actually have a system for it, and these were getting lost in the shuffle, and people were getting really pissed off. So especially after they had to call back 2 or 3 times. So we decided, hey, what's the flow? What's the most efficient way to handle that? So here's how it happens. You might either get a phone call or you might get an email about this, right? We get them in emails. Hey, there's a problem at the gate, or there's a problem with the post, or there's a problem with, we found debris in the yard, etc., right? Or we get the phone call. So the first thing we do is we respond immediately, especially if it's an email. And we have a template in our response that's set up that says pretty much the same thing. It says, okay, you know, we apologize for any inconvenience you might be having, but here's the things that we need. And we have bullet points of all the stuff that they got to give to us. We need pictures. We need them to get into further detail. This is all to help us out, so we know from the picture what's most likely going on, so we know what type of materials to bring out there, and we know if it's our fault, if it's a manufacturer's fault, or if it's a customer's fault. Now, whether you choose to tell them whose fault it is, sometimes we just decide to go out and repair it and not say anything, and maybe try to educate them a little bit more, like, hey guys, you got to make sure this gate's latched or it'll blow open again and you'll blow your uprights off of your fence. You know, things like that. That's up to you. But to a customer, when there's a problem, it's like the end of the world to them. It's this massive, massive thing. But when we look at it, we're like, oh, that's an easy fix. I'll come out there, I'll adjust the hinges, I'll be out there in 10 minutes. So that's the first thing that we do, is we ask the customer to send pictures and give us any details to help us prepare for the repair. Then we can decipher what that is. We have a whole process in our CRM specifically for repairs. We got the notes, we got the pictures, we got what's going to be needed on the production floor, who's going to go out there and do the repair, the customer's contact information, when the fence was installed, how they paid for it. We have all the information, and we move them through a flow to complete on our board, and then with a follow-up phone call to make sure they're happy. So when we actually go to do the repair, we schedule with the customer and we ask that they be there, because we may discover other things, or maybe there was something else that they want us to do and we're already out there, so we can most likely get it done. So we call and schedule and say, you know, can you be there? And if they can't, is it okay if we go in your backyard? Can you leave your fence unlocked? Do you have dogs? We have permission to enter the property. Right, so we get that all squared away with them. Then we come over and we do the repair, right? And then there's a protocol after we do that repair that our repair team has been instructed and trained to do, right? Because we don't want to have to come out there again. So one of the protocols that we do in my industry is we go around the whole entire fence. We walk both sides of it, checking things to see, hey, did a rail come undone? Is there a cap that's blown off here? Is there something that looks out of plumb? And check their other gates. Maybe one of their other gates are rubbing or not closing properly. Maybe we see a hole in a picket that they'll be calling about. And maybe we do something a little bit extra for them just to go that extra mile, right? Because everybody's used to getting just the bare minimum. Even if not the bare minimum, not even delivering on the stuff that people said they were going to deliver on in the first place. So that's the customer service that people are used to getting. So when you actually do something a little bit above and beyond, people are ecstatic about that. I mean, that is unheard of in the industry. So you can use the repair as an opportunity to differentiate your company as well and to build a better rapport with the customer. So we go around it and see if there's anything else, that would prevent us from having to come back again. So guys, after the repair is done, they take pictures of before and after and everything that they did. That gets documented in the CRM. It also gets sent to the customer for a confirmation that the repairs have been done. And if the customer is there, we ask them to walk the fence with them. This way we can show them what we did physically so they don't feel like we just showed up, got out of there as quick as we can, maybe just put a Band-Aid on the problem. So that's how we handle the repair, guys. So it's not the end of the world, guys, but I promise you, if you lose one of these things in the shuffle or do not come out and do a repair for a customer, you will get bad reviews, and they will not recommend you anymore, and it'll make your company look really, really bad. So, guys, I just wanted to go through that whole process with you and tell you how we handle our repair process. I will tell you this, guys, we do over 1,000 residential installations a year, so we have our own dedicated repair and rework warranty crew, right? And it's just a van that they got. There's everything in there that they could possibly need: shelvings, tools, levels, hammers, grinders, guns, rock bars, well, nail guns. Maybe they got firearms too, but I don't know about that. But anyways, we have our own crew dedicated to that, so we stay on top of this, right? Because when you come out and you service your customers, it looks really good, and it's a necessity. So that's all I got, folks, today. If you got something out of this, please like it, share it, and subscribe to it.
Yeah, that's what I've been talking about right here. No doubt.
Future Solutions, fencing outdoors. Clip of the day, man. I'm your host from the East Coast, man. Burn your toast. Let's go.